Hey guys, what's going on? It's Wasim here from Handsome Smiles. Thank you for joining me on another video. So guys, back in September I hit 500 subscribers and I made a little video saying thank you. Also in that video I did a Q&A where I asked you guys to give me some questions for a Q&A video. So let's get this started. Alright guys, first question. First question is from a subscriber called Freeman Fragrance. He says, congrats on the 500 subscribers. My question is, have you tried 1 million Absolutely Gold? Thank you for your question, Freeman Fragrance. I haven't actually tried 1 million Absolute Gold. I'm a fan of the original 1 million, but from the 1 million line, I feel like I've outgrown 1 million. 1 million really has a youthful and juvenile vibe. It's an excellent fragrance, a very pleasing scent, but for me, I've outgrown 1 million, so I haven't checked it out, but I probably will check it out and let you know what it smells like. So thank you for your question. Next question is from a fellow YouTube reviewer, Fragboy Stewie, also known as Sai. He says, congratulations on hitting the 500 milestone. Here's to 500 more. Thank you. My questions for you are as follows. What got you into fragrances? So guys, I think I've always been into fragrances and smelling good. When I was younger, maybe around the age of 6, 7 to around 10, I used to wear a lot of uttars. Uttars are perfume oils mainly found around the Middle East and through Arabia and Asia. They're natural fragrances created free of alcohol. Basically, you just dab some perfume on and it works with your body heat to project. And I used to be given these as gifts from my family abroad and stuff like that. So I used to wear them when I was younger. But after I became a teenager, I really found that these fragrances were a little bit too daring to wear at school. So I used to wear Lynx or Axe body sprays, as you guys know. Yeah, I used to wear stuff like that. And it wasn't until I was about 21 where I thought, you know what, I really need to get myself a fragrance. And I started my fragrance journey at the age of 21. Next question from Fragboy Stewie is, what do I do for a living? So I work in marketing, most specifically online marketplace marketing. Next question is, what are your favorite notes in a fragrance? For me, I really love all notes in fragrances. There aren't many notes which I dislike. Really guys, when I look at a note breakdown, I don't look at all that notes in there, I won't like it. Because to be honest, some notes in a certain fragrance smell fantastic, and other fragrances, that particular note would smell ridiculously bad. It depends how that fragrance is blended. So for me, I really love all notes, but the notes which are really that really excite me are notes such as amber, tobacco, and iris. Those are the three notes which really excite me in a fragrance. Next question from Fragboy Stewie is, if given a chance, which perfumer would you have work on your custom signature scent, and what would that signature scent smell like? So if I would have any perfumer work for me on a fragrance, it would probably be Francois Demachy. Now Francois Demachy for me is just a genius. If you look at his fragrance portfolio, what he's done at Christian Dior, the amount of masterpieces from that house is just outstanding. If you look at the Le Privé collection, if you look at the Dior Homme line, the Fahrenheit line, guys, he's just produced masterpiece after masterpiece. And all these fragrances also have a very commercial appeal as well. So he would definitely be someone I would love to have work on my signature scent. And the second part of the question is, what would that signature scent smell like? If I'm being honest, Sai, I really don't know what it would smell like, so I'm going to have to skip that question. Sorry about that, mate. Next question is from Life Digger. Congrats on the 500 subs, man. Thank you. I just wanted to ask, how or where do you store all your fragrances, and what's one of the worst fragrances you've ever smelled? Thanks for the Q&A. So I'm going to show you where I store my fragrances, but let me answer that second question first, where he says, what's one of the worst fragrances you've smelled? For me, the worst fragrance I've experienced is Mont Tobacco from the house of Oman Jane. That was a fragrance that just did not work on my skin. It's a tobacco heavy fragrance with some florals and isoe super. I just found it to be too dry and too floral, and the tobacco was just really dry and harsh. For me, tobacco scents work really well when they're blended with some sweetness such as vanilla or honey, but Mont Tobacco from Omar and Jane was just so dry and floral. Oh, I absolutely hated it. It's probably the only fragrance I've ever scrubbed off. So yeah, that's probably the worst fragrances I've ever smelled. Now to show you guys where I store my fragrances. Alright guys, this is where I store all my fragrances. I store them in drawers. So I store all my bottles in here. It just keeps them away from sunlight and it just keeps them safe from falling over or anything. You want to keep fragrances away from sunlight just to make sure that fragrances don't go bad. So that's where I'll keep all my bottles. This is where I'll keep all my decants. Got all my utters there, all my big decant bottles there, and all my 10ml decants there. So that's where I store all my fragrances, guys. Alright guys, next question is from King Meta. First off, congrats, I love your channel. Thank you so much. Have you ever had one or more embarrassing experiences with fragrances? For example, overspraying or people hating it, etc. If I'm being completely honest, King Meta, I've actually never had an embarrassing moment with a fragrance. I've never really oversprayed, and sometimes if I have oversprayed and people notice it, for me that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm a type of person that really struggles to get embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed very easily, and I actually really love attention, so if I was getting a lot of attention for overspraying, it wouldn't really bother me. Or second part of the question, have you ever had a person hate on your fragrance? If I'm being honest, if I'm wearing a fragrance and I absolutely love it and adore it, I really don't care what anyone else thinks. If I love it, that's what matters. And if someone else doesn't like what I'm wearing, it really does not matter to me at all. Another question by King Meta is also, if you could only own 5 fragrances for the rest of your life, what would they be? I've actually done a full video on this topic of which 5 fragrances I would own for the rest of my life. So make sure to check out my video for those selections. Next question is from Mumu Khalifa. He says, do you sell your fragrances? Yes, I do. I sell my fragrances. I try to limit my bottles to my favourites. And I like to sell off fragrances just to give me some money to buy some decants. For me, having 110ml decants is better than having 100ml bottle. I just love the variety decants give you, and seriously guys, when you have a large collection, it's quite hard to finish a 10ml decant anyway. A 10ml decant will probably last you maybe a year or even 2 years, so I really love having loads of decants. But as far as bottles go, if I'm not enjoying it anymore, then I do sell it off and use the cash to buy decants. The second part of the question is, what was the first fragrance you bought? The first fragrance I ever bought was 1 million, and that was because of a sales assistant really selling it to me. I remember going to some department stores and checking out fragrances, and 2 fragrances really stood out to me on that day. They were D&G's The One and Izzy Miyake's L'Eau de Ceux pour Homme. But when I went to the sales assistant, she was like, oh, you have to get 1 million, it's the most popular one, or everyone loves it. And she really just sold it to me, and my first fragrance was 1 million. Now at age 21, 1 million did work really well for me, but since then my fragrance interest and fragrance is just really, what I like has just really changed. My tastes have really changed, so I've gone off 1 million a little bit. I still do have a little 10ml decant in my collections for the few times of the year that I would like to try it on. So yeah, 1 million was my first fragrance I tried, that I bought. He also says, what other type of videos will you do? For me, primarily, my passion is fragrances, my hobby is fragrances. So my channel will always be dedicated to fragrances, but if you guys want to see other type of videos on this channel, then do let me know. I am planning to do review utters and talk about these perfume oils utters on my channel soon. But if you guys want me to do vlogs or challenges or tag videos, then do let me know. I'll do anything you guys want me to do on this channel. Next question is, how do I create my videos? Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how I create my videos. Alright guys, so this is how I create my videos. So I have a stack of DVDs which helps to keep this little tripod my brother made using Legos. So my little brother made this little tripod for me, which I've used from the very beginning, before I was given a tripod for Christmas from my manager. So I stick my phone there, and that's my little tripod made out of Lego for my little brother. And over here is a little bit of lighting. It's just a little simple desk lamp which I covered with some baking paper, which just gives some excellent lighting. And on the right I have my laptop where I put the brightness at the maximum to give me some additional lighting. So yeah, that's my setup for my videos, guys. And the last question from Mumu Khalifa is, how long will you do your videos? For me, guys, I'm going to continue doing this channel as long as I can. I really enjoy reviewing fragrances, testing fragrances, and just sharing my experience with you guys. And I absolutely love the support and just the amazing comments I get on my channel. So I'm going to be doing these videos as long as I can, guys. Next question is from Saad Chisti. He says, bro, great reviews and top collections. Really love the selections. Thank you. Just have a question that I live in a country which is like a massive hot. It's a desert. So what kind of fragrances should I prefer, as leather gets too strong and pungent in the heat? That's it. Best of luck. Thank you for your question, Saad. Unfortunately, as I've never really tested fragrances in a hot climate, I can't really give a good answer to that question. I know in a lot of really hot climate areas such as the Middle East and India, uttars and perfume oils are very popular. So definitely give those a try to see how they work on your body. As those perfume oils don't contain any alcohol and it works off body heat, they really work in a hot climate. As you're really warms up, the perfume oil really projects the fragrance due to your body heat. So definitely look out for them as well. Thank you for your question. Next question is from For You To Envy This Channel. He says, firstly, congrats, thank you. Secondly, questions. Do you like football? What teams do you support? I do like football, but I'm a casual viewer. I really don't support any team. I do support the national England team, but as far as club football goes, I'm a casual viewer. I love to watch match of the day. I don't really have a team that I support. Next question from For You To Envy This Channel is, if you could only wear one fragrance for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now that's a very, very tough question. If I'm being completely honest, it'll probably have to be Aventus from Creed. I just find it very versatile. You can wear it to work, you can wear it for a night out, you can wear it casually, you can wear it from pretty much any occasions, and it smells amazing. You can even wear it for a formal occasion. Very pleasing scent, very versatile, lasts all day, projects beautifully, so it'll probably be Aventus. Okay, number 3 is, who is your favourite YouTube reviewer? Excellent question. For me, my favourite YouTube reviewers is probably the Fragrance Bros, especially when there was Jer and Dava. I think Jer and Dava just make a massive, great team, great duo, just bring fantastic reviews with a lot of entertainment as well. Now, the Fragrance Bros, I have to say, I don't always agree with their reviews. They love a lot of fragrances which I actually don't like, and they bash a lot of fragrances which I dislike, but I really love seeing their views. Fragrances are very subjective, but I really do enjoy their fragrance reviews. Other fragrance reviewers that I really like are Chad and Raj. Those two are the guys that I really look forward to watching videos of fragrances which I want to test. I really love the way they just give a quick explanation of the scent, how it works, and I find their noses just to be excellent. Raj and Chad are excellent for that. And I also really love Mark Robes 08. He's just a fragrance reviewer I've been following for years. He was actually the first fragrance reviewer I watched. And as a fragrance reviewer myself now, I just have a lot of respect for someone who's been doing this so long, consistently for so long, and just keeping a very high standard of videos. I think he's brilliant. So yeah, my favourite fragrance reviewers are the Fragrance Bros, Chad and Raj and Mark. There's also other fragrance reviewers as well that I love. Next question from For You To Envy This Channel says, which fragrance are you dying to smell, but as of yet have not had the chance? I can't really think of it at the moment. It'll probably be that one fragrance from Clive Christian. It's apparently the most expensive fragrance in the world. So I do want to check out what all the fuss is about. So yeah, that'll probably be the fragrance I'm probably dying to smell. I wouldn't say I'm dying to smell it, but I'm kind of intrigued. And finally, his last question is completely off topic, but what's your favorite TV show or movie? As far as TV shows go, guys, I love The Simpsons. I think it's fantastic. Homer Simpson is just a genius in my opinion. Another TV show that I really like is Friends. I'm really enjoying Malcolm in the Middle at the moment. They're showing it a lot here in the UK. I used to watch Malcolm in the Middle when I was a child anyway, but I really love that show at the moment because it's doing reruns on TV at the moment. And as far as movies go, my favourite movies would be either The Taxi Driver or Buffalo 66. Those two are my favourite films. Next question is from A Gentleman's Journey, also known as Chad. A great friend of mine. I consider him a big bro. He really helped me out on my channel. A great guy, an absolute asset to the fragrance community. He says, big congrats, thank you. Where did you get that shirt? Because damn. Alright, so in that video, my Q&A video, I wore a shirt which matched my ironing board, which was in the which was in the background. Where did I get my shirt? I don't know. I think I bought it off eBay, if I'm being honest. I can't remember. His next question is, where have you travelled? I'm being honest, I've not travelled anywhere really exciting. I really need to travel. That's definitely on my list of things to do. I really want to visit America, definitely New York. I really want to go travelling throughout North Africa and especially the Middle East. That's somewhere I really want to travel. I feel there's so much history in that place, and I also want to do a lot of travelling throughout India as well. His next question is, why haven't you met any of the guys from the UK fragrance community and done a video? That's a great question. I really don't know why any of us haven't met. I live in Coventry, which is in the middle of England, so there's great transport links for me to meet guys around England to do a video. I know other guys like Raj and Greg live around the London area, so I really could meet up with them and do a video. I really don't know why we haven't done it. Maybe there's another video coming up in the future. His next question is favourite reviewer. Now I've already answered that question, so let's move over to the next question where he says, least favourite reviewer, if you dare to answer, which I personally wouldn't. My least favourite reviewer, I actually don't have a least favourite reviewer. For me, I have a massive respect for anyone that gets in front of a camera to do fragrance reviews. If you want to do a fragrance review and you want to share your experiences and you want to share your hobby and your passion, then I'm going to watch your video because I think that's brilliant. This is my hobby, and if you want to share your hobby with me, then that's absolutely brilliant. So I really don't have a least favourite reviewer. If you want to review fragrances, I'm going to watch your video. And if any of you guys, any of my subscribers are out there and you want to start a YouTube channel and you're passionate about fragrances, then just start a channel, man. I would watch your videos, just do it. Next question is from Roman Sandals. Happy 500. Love your reviews, so please keep up the great work. Thank you, Roman Sandals. That's a brilliant comment. Thank you. My questions: do you have a favourite fragrance that is not well received by others in the community? My favourite fragrance which is not well received. That's a tough question because for me, if you have a fragrance that you like, you're going to have some people that are absolutely going to hate it, but you're going to have people that are going to love it as well. If I could say a favourite fragrance that's not well received, I kind of really like Dior Sauvage. Now that's a really polarizing scent. I know some people absolutely hate it, but for me, I think like it's a good fragrance. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites though, but yeah, that's a tough question to answer. Next question is, do you own any perfumes marketed for women but can be considered by some to be unisex? Yeah, I do. I really enjoy Ambre Sultan by Serge Lutens. Now that fragrance is marketed solely to women, but I think that's a brilliant unisex fragrance. It's also number one on my top fragrances for autumn and fall for the year 2015. So yeah, Ambre Sultan, marketed towards women, but I really find it to be unisex. His last question is, how large is your collection and how big do you want it to be? So in my collection I have about 100 decants. I've got about 20 others, and as far as bottles go, I've got 20 bottles at the moment. Now at my largest, my collection used to hold about 40 to 50 bottles, but I really downsized this year. I sold off a lot of my bottles and just kept my favourite bottles in my collection. The second part of the question is, how big do you want it to be? It just depends on my financial situation. Really guys, there's more to life than buying fragrances. For me, I love to explore fragrances, but you need to be smart with your money and put your money to stuff that's more important in life, like your family, your friends. So my collection will just be dependent on where I am with my financial situation. For me, I would always buy decants because for me it just makes more economic sense. Next question is from a fellow fragrance reviewer going by the name of Note Punch, a great guy. He says, congrats on the 500 subs, you deserve way more, my friend. Really like your channel, thank you. That's a brilliant comment. Comment like that just really made me happy, thank you. He says, what's your worst fragrance that you've ever smelled? Already answered that question, guys. That was Mon Tobacco by Omar Jane. Absolutely hate that fragrance, terrible fragrance in my opinion. His next question is, what's your favourite fragrance of all time? My favourite fragrance of all time is L'Eau de Say by Issey Miyake. Let me just get the bottle, guys. So yeah, this is my favourite fragrance of all time. L'Eau de Say Borom by Issey Miyake. For me, this is just beautiful. It smells amazing. Lasts absolutely ages on my skin. I get 10 to 12 hours of longevity and projects excellently as well. I've received so many compliments wearing this fragrance. Whenever I put this on, it just makes me feel great. Very pleasing scent. For me, this is going to be my wedding day scent. It's absolutely fantastic. My favourite fragrance of all time is L'Eau de Say Borom by Issey Miyake. Note Punch's third question is, what's your strongest beast mode fragrance on your skin? Strongest beast mode fragrance on my skin is probably Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. That fragrance does not quit on my skin. It's beast mode. It lasts all day and it projects massively as well. That fragrance is definitely beast mode. His last question is, what's your daily signature scent, the one you wear the most? That's a tough question. Really don't have a signature fragrance because I rotate a lot in my collection and I try on and test a lot of fragrances, so I really don't have a signature scent. If I did have a signature scent, it will probably be Issey Miyake's L'Eau de Say Borom or Ventus, just because of the versatility and how great they smell. Also, L'Homme by YSL is a great signature scent for myself as well. Next question is from another fellow fragrance reviewer, Rio Cappuccino. He says, congrats. Cheers, man. He says, do you travel to New York? If so, when was the last time? I've never travelled to New York, but I really do want to visit that city. A lot of my favourite TV shows, my favourite movies are set in New York, and some of my favourite musical artists are from New York as well. New York I really do want to visit one day. His next part of the question is, who would you like to have on as a guest video on your channel? Who would I like to have a guest on my channel? I don't know, someone quite, I don't know, a supermodel, I guess, someone really pretty. Alright, let's move over to the next question, guys. It's from Firdaus. She says, congrats on your 500 subscribers. Her first question is, will you ever do tags, challenges on your channel, or will you strictly stick to fragrance videos? For me, I've already touched upon this topic already. My passion and my hobby is fragrances, and this channel was started to share my passion of fragrances. So I always will do fragrance reviews, but if you guys ever want me to do tags or challenges on my channel or even vlogs, then do let me know, because I don't mind doing those sort of videos for you guys if you want. Her next question is, what got you into wearing fragrances? I think I've touched upon that again, guys. I've already answered that question. Moving on to her third question is, what made you start a YouTube channel? That's an excellent question. So I started becoming interested in fragrances back in 2011, and I used to watch YouTube videos of fragrances back then. I used to watch Cutlass Supreme SL, I used to watch Tim Sweatcoff, Mark, Cubby, just all those guys. And when I used to watch YouTube reviews back in 2011, 2012, I really wanted to start a YouTube channel as well. I wanted to share my journey, share my passion. So I made my first video back in, I think it was January 2012. But guys, that video was just terrible. I was so shy in front of the camera. It just wasn't a very good video. And in about a week's time of that video being live, I actually put it on private, and it's been on private for about 4 years now. After 2012, my passion in fragrances continued, but I always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to share on YouTube. But I was just too scared, and I was just too shy to show my passion on the camera. So I didn't start a channel again until January or February 2014. I think you're seeing a pattern here where it will be my New Year's resolution to start a YouTube channel. So February or January 2014, I started making videos again, and this time it was even more embarrassing. So I would make these videos like top 10 date fragrances or top 10 fragrances for summer, and basically these videos will be really short with a musical backing track, and I would just hold up fragrances like that's a number 10, that's a number 9, that's a number 7, and I actually wouldn't even talk. I would just have text at the bottom to explain what that fragrance was. Yeah, those videos were terrible. After about 3 weeks or so, so I lasted about 3 times longer than I did 2 years previously. So yeah, after 3 weeks I ended those videos that I made back in 2014. And then I started this channel in January 2015. I just told myself, you know what, I have to do this. I love watching YouTube videos. I have a massive passion for fragrances, and I want to share it with people. So I just started it, and when I started it, I just got some great comments, great support from subscribers and from fellow YouTube reviewers, and I just loved it, and that's where I am today. So her next question is, if you ever made your own fragrance, which I am very sure you will one day, what would you name it? That's a great question. I actually don't want to share it out right now, but it will probably be named after someone in my family. Her last question is, what's your favourite type of cake? My favourite type of cake is definitely cheesecake. Next question is from Miata149. That person says, considering price, longevity, smell, etc., what fragrance that you have purchased do you consider to be the best bang for buck? That would have to go to Encore Noir. Let me just get the bottle, guys. Guys, this is Encore Noir. You can pick up Encore Noir for about £25. The fragrance itself is just outstanding, a very daring fragrance, but for fragrance enthusiasts, this is an incredible fragrance, very complex. If I would describe this fragrance, this is a smoky green vetiver, which also has a very dry and even wet feel about it. Just makes you feel like you're walking in a really damp forest where you can smell trees burning, and it's very unique and fantastic fragrance. For me, on my skin, this lasts about 10 hours and projects fantastically as well. Another fragrance which is excellent bang for buck is 24 Gold from the House of Scent Story. You can pick up that fragrance here at 50ml for around £12.50. I don't need to go about the scent. The scent is just this beautiful oud, amber, vanilla, sweet scent, which just has beastly projection and longevity, which you can pick up for £12.50. The scent itself is really just niche quality, a great fragrance, a great bang for buck. The second part of the question says, conversely, the worst bang for buck. So the worst bang for buck fragrance for me has to be from the House of Roger Dove. The fragrance is Vetiver Extrait. Now this is a 50ml bottle which retails for £275. Guys, I don't care what fragrance you've made, but if you're going to pay £275, I want it to smell absolutely incredible. I want it to project all day, and I want it to be beastly projection. Even if you were to make that sort of fragrance, it is ridiculous to spend £275. I actually got this cheap. I got this on his outlet site for £95. Even then, it just makes you think, £95 is still very expensive for a fragrance, but this costs £275. Now this is not a bad scent, but it's not massively amazing either. It's not the best vetiver fragrance in my opinion. For me, the best vetiver fragrance is Ancre Noir, and this one smells a lot like Tom Ford's Great Vetiver, but Great Vetiver is massively cheaper than this and probably does the job better than this anyway. So this is probably my worst bang for buck. Roger Dove's Vetiver Extract. The last question is from Bob. He says, congratulations, here's a few questions. What are your top 3 fragrances that you thought you'd like based on reviews but found you don't like after sampling or blind buying? Basically the 3 fragrances that disappointed you the most. It would be at number 1, Mont Tobacco by Ormond Jane. It got some great reviews. A lot of people really loved the House of Ormond Jane, but that was the worst blind buy ever. I hated that fragrance. Another one that I wouldn't say I didn't like but found myself disappointed was the vintage DHI DRM Intense. For me, on my skin, I really don't know why. The projection and longevity were just not as good as what people were saying. So yeah, DHI and Mont Tobacco, and lastly it will probably be Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. That was a fragrance which I was massively disappointed by. It didn't have the beastly projection and longevity everyone else was saying, and a lot of people find that scent to be amazing, like this beautiful, gorgeous, upscale scent. But for me, on my skin, it just didn't work that way. So those were the 3 fragrances that I found to be quite disappointed: Mont Tobacco by Ormond Jane, DHI, and Tuscan Leather. So his next question is, what are your top 3 surprises? Fragrances that you'd think you'd like but found that you'd like them after sampling. So fragrances that surprised me, which I didn't think I'd like before but I did like. Those 3 would be L'Ardezar Marican from the house of Andy Tower. It would be Bleu de Chanel, and it would be Jubilation 25 from the house of Amouage. Bob's next question is, what is the best fragrance that you bought because of another person's review on YouTube? Something that you wouldn't have ever heard of or considered purchasing. For that one, it would probably be Le Mans by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Now, when I was younger, I used to see Le Mans fragrance adverts on TV. I used to see the bottles in department stores, and I just thought it was so tacky. It gave off this juvenile vibe, and I never thought I would ever purchase that bottle. And it wasn't until I started watching YouTube reviews, and especially Mark, a guy who had a massive collection, and he was just placing this number 1 on his list as his favourite fragrance, as his signature scent. So because of that, I thought, you know what, I need to check this out. So I bought the bottle and I just fell in love with it, and it's one of my favourite fragrances. So yeah, the answer to that question will be Le Mans by Jean-Paul Gaultier. His next question is, who is your favourite retired YouTube reviewer? That one would definitely have to go to Tim Swetkoff. He was huge back in the day, and he's definitely a reviewer who I'd love to see back on YouTube again. I think he had a great nose, he had a great style to reviewing as well, and he was probably one of the most popular reviewers which a lot of reviewers have styled their review styles on. So yeah, my favourite retired YouTube reviewer has to be Tim Swetkoff. Another retired YouTube reviewer that I miss is Jeremy from Fragrance Bros. For me, he was great. I think he had this everyday man sort of quality to him. I just loved the way he used to describe fragrances. He either used to love them, and if he loved them he would tell you, and if he hated them he would tell you as well. There was no smugness or anything like that to him. He was just a great reviewer. So yeah, Jeremy is another retired YouTube reviewer that I miss. His next question is, if you could go back in time to witness any moment in history, what would you go back to? That's a great question. I'll probably go back to 1966 to witness England winning the Football World Cup, because I don't think I'd ever in my lifetime see England winning the World Cup. So it'd be great to go back to that time. And he finishes off with saying, congratulations again on reaching 500 and thanks for making these awesome videos. Thank you for your comment and thank you for your question. Guys, that's the end of my Q&A. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, then make sure to leave me a like and a comment below. And guys, if you haven't subscribed, then make sure you do. Guys, just want to finish off by saying a massive thank you for all your support. I really love making these videos, so a massive thank you. Until next time, see you later.